Join me in painting 4 dessert-themed kitties. This project was based on a brief from a mini course I took part in. The brief itself was rather open-ended, allowing anyone taking part to do their own thing. The brief was simply, make a sticker based on things you like. So while there were many of us partaking in the course and using the brief, we were guaranteed to create different imagery. My topic was unsurprisingly cats, but I attempted to mix it with puns and desserts as well to give a bit of variety. When I first started working on this brief, I did so using traditional mediums, which of course was not documented. But while I liked the initial drawings, they just didn't feel like something I would or could create stickers from. Therefore, I decided to create a digital version. And while the initial traditional work could be seen as a finished version, I treated them more like a sketch that I could work away from and improve. Besides, just colouring the work digitally would open to use more vivid colours, but also making it easier to potentially prep the imagery for the printing process. Note, it is still fully possible to make stickers and prints from traditional work, it's just not my current preference. As of late, I have been really enjoying working with different prompts and briefs in order to kick off an image or a project. It may sound lazy to some, but sometimes it's nice to give yourself permission to be inspired by other things and see where that takes you. However, it's also worth remembering that sometimes that's the entire premise of getting commissions and such. You work away from the needs of others. So, being an artist isn't all about creating exactly what you want all the time. And in my eyes, it's highly beneficial to be able to be inspired by prompts and follow briefs. A prompt, to me, is a word, a collection of words, a phrase, or even a theme that helps spark ideas. It may be very open-ended and just a starting point that can be interpreted in many different ways. A prompt usually isn't connected to a target audience or a set outcome, though it may have a set deadline, as is the case with most prompt lists for art challenges like Inktober and Mermay. When I am stuck on what to draw, I tend to gravitate towards using prompts, because all they do is set off my imagination and act like a stepping stone. Does that mean that I'll instantly have an idea from a prompt? Absolutely not. Sometimes, yes, I do have an idea right away, and I know exactly what I want to create and how it should look. Other times, I have multiple ideas, and I have to sketch around to figure out what I should go with. But there are also times where it may take a while for the idea to manifest, or I may be entirely blank and just move on to another prompt or to do something else. Using prompts isn't always the silver bullet I'd like it to be, as there is never a guarantee that I'll get that rush of imagination. And that is totally okay. That's just how imagination works and how inspiration works. A brief, on the other hand, tends to be a bit more set. It usually contains a set topic, target audience, and deadline, as well as having a specific outcome or deliverable. Briefs are of course used for client work, but it's also often connected to things like art competitions and portfolio challenges. And I suppose they are often used with online courses, especially the ones where there is coursework to do. But like I touched upon earlier, following a brief is really good practice for artists who want to do commissions or get commercial work. Because if you're working with a client, they usually expect you to create a piece of art that will work with their product, company, or idea, in which case you'll need to make sure that what you create answers the given brief. Does that mean that a brief is really rigid? That kind of depends on the client you're working with. Some of them may have more vague briefs that leaves a lot of flexibility when it comes to interpretation and exploration, while others may want their exact vision to be created. In either case, it's always best that both parties are in agreement of what the brief is in writing. So communication is truly important when responding to briefs from clients. Working with a client also means that you will get feedback on sketches and so on, which will help steer you in the right direction. Though in cases where you are answering a brief for a competition, you are usually working away from just the written brief provided to everyone partaking. However, that also often means that the topic itself is up for a broader interpretation, but the deliverables are quite set. But again, this may vary depending on the competition. Many artists create their own briefs, especially if they are looking to work with a specific client or work within a specific field. This means they'll create a brief where they can choose a set target audience, product, theme, deliverables, and so on. These kind of self-initiated projects can truly help them show off their ability to answer briefs similar to what they are expected to encounter in the real world, which often looks really good for potential clients. I do this myself from time to time as well, and it can actually be a lot of fun. Do you work with prompts and briefs? If so, which do you prefer and why? And have you had a favourite prompt or brief that you've used? Or a favourite outcome from one? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.